Premier Racing Setups is the longest running setup shop on iRacing. Our monthly subscription options start as low as $20 a month. We offer setups for dirt oval, asphalt oval, and road racing, covering a wide range of cars and skill levels. Built and tested by top-tier sim racers, this isn't just a business, it's a community of competitive drivers. If you want to better your iRacing experience, head over to PremierRacingSetups.com today. And remember, if you don't get one, you're going to chase one. Premier Racing.
All right, we are live. There's Chris Murphy here with DRSN, bringing you something a little bit different tonight. We did not expect to be here when we woke up this morning, but here we are, bringing you the DARE Dirty Air Racing Experience Saturday night race here from Kansas. We've got about, last I counted, about 46 trucks here set to qualify. We'll see how many actually going to take the green flag here. But right now, qualifying is taking place. We've got a few drivers and everybody out on the racetrack right now trying to get some laps in. We're going to see who starts on the pole this thing, but 46 deep. A little bit different here tonight, something we're not usually used to covering. But we're going to show you a little bit here. We'll see race format here for tonight. 120 laps here at Kansas for the Craftsman Truck Series. 20 lap stages, and they're only going to throw cautions on at each stage. So any kind of accident, anything happens in between the stages, there will not be a caution thrown. 4 fast repairs available to all the drivers, 3 green-white checkered attempts, and the other thing we don't see very often, on each caution flag at the end of the stage, every driver will not just be one lucky dog, everybody will be a lucky dog. Everybody in the field will be able to get their laps back if they are a lap down. So that is going to be the race format here for tonight. It looks like we're getting some drivers with some lap times in right now. And right now at the top is Rusty Chansey. Ethan George's going to come across and take the second spot away. Jake Boxer right there in third. Scott Benedict's now in the fourth spot, where times are just flying in here right now. We've got, like I said, we have, last I counted, about 45 to 46 drivers. We'll see actually how many actually get out here and qualify on the racetrack. All right, if you're new with us here at DRSN, hit the subscribe button, give us a like. Appreciate you being here with us. If it is your first time, you'll see that we cover lots of different racing, sprint car racing, road racing, some super speedway, about every other week or so. A couple different truck series also on Tuesdays and Thursdays nights. But once again, we take a look here at qualifying right now, and John Freeman going to go to the top at a 37.61. Knocks Cole Williams down to second by almost a little 3.5 tenths of a second there. Brandon Schumann's going to move himself up into fourth. We got about 2 minutes left to go here in qualifying, and we'll get going here for our 120 lap feature. So far, about 24 drivers have made their way onto the racetrack to get a lap in. It looks like a few more out on the racetrack. We'll take a look here at Bryce Hinton, Team JBL, number 28. Going to try to get his lap, and let's see where he ends up on the timing and scoring. We're watching the 28 of Bryce Hinton make his lap around there and see if he can knock anybody off the top of the charts. In practice, it was, trying to find the name here, Jason Bird was the fastest in practice earlier. We got to see him make his way out on the racetrack for qualifying. But it's still John Freeman with the pole right now. We're going to see where Hinton comes in. Hinton comes across the line. He is not going to be happy with that lap. Only in 26 right now is Kim Kraus is going to come across the line in 15th in the 22. Curtis Mitchell also going to get a lap in. Good time there for the 316. He's going to go up into 6th, but into the top 10 for Curtis Mitchell. Less than a minute left to go in qualifying. I don't see anybody else out on the racetrack. Kraus still going to get a lap in here. Looks like going to try to get the second lap in. Down through the tribal section across the start-finish line. And Kraus is going to stay down in 16th. But Bryce Hinton, actually Kraus can move to 12th. Bryce Hinton on his second lap going to move all the way up into 4th. So a great lap there from the 28. All right, about 30 seconds left to go. I do not see anybody else left on the racetrack. So we've had 27 drivers take a lap. And it looks like that's going to be it. Daniel McConnell actually sneaks a lap in under the wire right there. Is going to come in 28th right now. Let's see if don't think he's going to have time to get a second lap in there in the got the King of the Hill sponsored 73. Well, thank you all for joining us tonight. Appreciate you being here on a Saturday night. It's kind of late on the East Coast. We're on the West Coast, so the sun's not even down yet. But on the East Coast, it's 10 o'clock, so appreciate you being here with us. We got about a minute and a half left to go here in warm-ups. We'll see how many cars do end up gridding up. We actually have 50 cars in the lobby. So we'll see if all 50 take the green flag or not. Like we said, it's 20-lap stages, no caution flags, except for the stage cautions. 20-lap segments where tire wear is not going to come into play, fuel mileage is not going to come into play. We'll have 3 green-white checkered attempts at the end if we need them. 4 fast repairs for the drivers. So not your traditional format, but something that the Dare Group has been doing for a while. So we'll see how this plays out tonight. I'll thank him for reaching out and giving us the opportunity to join in. Anybody gridding up, so we're getting a few drivers on the starting grid now. Alright, so looks like about less than a minute left to go here, and we will get going here at Kansas. A couple sponsors to mention: AI Chief. If you're looking for some good software to help you along with your strategy, and also to give you a hard time when you're doing something stupid, check out AI Chief at raceaichief.com and use the code DRSN at checkout. Software is still under development, but it's a pretty nice piece of software if you're looking for some help with your pit stops and just a little bit of strategy stuff. And they're going to be bringing a lot more stuff along as we go as well. So Premier Setups as well. Premier Racing Setups, DRSN 15 is your discount code there. All right, let's take a look at our starting lineup. For this 120 laps at Kansas, on the pole is going to be the 42 of John Freeman. Is outside Cole Williams. Back to row number 2, starting third is Larry Eddy and Bryce Hinton. Row number 3, Carlos Ortiz and Brandon Schumann. In the 4th row, Curtis Mitchell and Rusty Chansey. Row number 5, Jamie Shaw, Ethan George. Going to get back to row number 6. Maybe we should have started this sooner. Toby Estes and Kim Kraus. In the 7th row, Jake Box and John Foskey. Row number 8, Scott Benedicts and Donnie Beach. And starting in 17th, Damon Pacheco and Ronald Paul. Starting 10th inside in the 19th starting spot, Ricky Miles and Scott Milliken. Back to the 11th row, Peyton Kleba and John Miles. James Jepson and Rob Williamson going to start there in the 12th row. In the 13th row, Ricky Heinert and Russ Campoli. Get back to row number 14 here for the click here through. We're going to skip 14. We're going to 15. Jacob Johnson and Carlos Andrade. Row 16, Dave Shute and Ben Rowden. Watching there's time going on the scores. So Jason Berg are fast in practice in 33rd. Josh Lambert in 34th. And we're going to go green here off of 4. So we'll catch up with the starting grid a little bit later on. This John Freeman on the pole going to bring us to the line here. Green flag is in the air at Kansas here for the Dirty Air Racing Experience. A good run from the 46 of Williams up on the outside. He's actually going to take the lead down into turn number 1. One great thing here about Kansas, multiple grooves on this racetrack, and you can see a nice start there by the 46 on the outside. He is going to take the top spot. We're side by side for 3rd and 4th. Bryce Hinton and Larry Eddy, Schumann and Ortiz right there behind him, along with Chansey and Mitchell. So right now the top 2 kind of single filed out, but from there on back it is 2 by 2. 3 wide up on the outside goes the 18. And I don't have an 18 on my timing and scoring, so I'm going to have to assume that is Carlos Ortiz. But out front, it is still Cole Williams. Cole Williams, John Freeman, and Larry Eddy, your top 3. Then it's Hinton, Chansey, so it's Chansey, and the number 18 is 9 on the scoreboard. 18 on the truck. So Chansey's finding that outside line to his liking, way up against the outside wall. He's trying to get around Hinton there for that fourth spot. And he's going to do a little bit of contact from Eddy and Freeman right there in front for 2nd and 3rd. But here comes Chansey on the outside. He's got a really good run in that 18 truck. Williams, Freeman, Eddie. Chancey really the only one running that outside line with consistency. Now up to third, started back in 8th, already up 5 spots early in this race. Take a look back for 3 wide back here. We got the 84 Shaw Kraus, and that's George up on the outside in the 78. A good battle all the way throughout the top 15 right now. Williams still out in front, but here comes Chancey. He's not done yet. He's going to take that second spot away from Freeman. Chancey is quick early on in this first stage. So lap number 4, first stage will go to 20. Williams, Clancy, Freeman, your top 3. We'll take a look here a little further back. We can see the battle going on here with Eddie and Mitchell. It's a 9 truck, I believe that's Estes on the bottom of the racetrack down there. Got Kraus right behind him in the 22. Love the racing here at Kansas. 2, 3 wide, we're 4 wide up to the front right now. 3 wide for second. Chancey, Ortiz, and Freeman. Ortiz down on the bottom of the racetrack. Freeman stuck in the middle there. A little bit of contact. Freeman does a good job of not pushing the truck up any further up the racetrack and getting into Chancey. But here comes Ortiz now on the bottom. Ortiz finding some pace. We're still 3 wide for second. Williams out in front. Freeman, Chancey, Ortiz. No one giving up an inch here. Chancey got a little bit of run off of 2. Can he clear Freeman into 3? Some fantastic racing going on up here right here for second, third, and fourth. Still 3 wide. They've been 3 wide for about the last 2 to 3 laps now. And I'm really surprised with them running 3 wide. Williams isn't getting any further away. Now we got Hinton right there, snuck up on the back of these 3. Little contact there between the 42 and the 18. No harm, no foul, but that's going to slow down Chancey's momentum. He's going to fall back now out of that 3 wide battle. Also going to fall back behind Hinton. So Chancey now back to 5th. Still working that outside line. Two by 2 for about the top 10, except for Williams. He is starting to stretch it out now, about 0.4 of a second to the good. As we complete lap number 8 here in stage number 1. 12 laps left to go. Ortiz and Freeman now battling out for second. Take a look here from the roof cam of Chancey. Good shot coming off of 4. Ortiz and Freeman right there still running side by side. Our biggest mover of the race right now is Carlos Andrade back there in the 19th spot, started in 30th. Moved up 11 spots. It looks like we had about 30 trucks take the green flag here out of the 50 that were in the lobby. 30th place for running number 5 of Ricky Miles. Ricky not having a great start here. Still a great race up here in the front. It is Williams, Freeman, Ortiz, Chancey, Hinton. That is your top 5. Come off of turn number 2 here one more time. We're halfway through stage number 1, 10 laps down. And you can see how the track kind of tightens up off the corner. You come off of 2, you got to kind of pinch the truck down to keep it off that outside wall. But Kansas, another one of these kind of cookie cutter 1.5 tracks that NASCAR loves to run. But the nice thing about here, it's nice and wide. Kind of think about the old California Speedway. Really wide, lots of room to race on. And we're seeing that here today, about 3-4 wide battling going all throughout the field. 2 by 2 now as they're getting kind of straightened out here. Freeman has now found his way back up to second. Started on the pole. It was Coleman and Freeman on the front row. Williams got a great jump, took the lead here. Freeman's had to fight his way back up to second after that battle with Ortiz and Chancey. Take a look back through the pack here. We take a look at the 3 of Mark Jackson. Back here in 25th right now, we've got a couple good battles going on here. 3 ride right here with Robbie Wilson, John Miles, and it looks like Rob Campbell. This is way back. This is back for 20th, about 24th. Back up front, it is still Cole Williams. He's still about 3.5 tenths to the good. Freeman has closed in just a little bit there by about 0.05 of a second, but Williams has shown good pace all day long. Last time by, let's see who was the fastest car on the track. Fastest truck on the racetrack last time by was a second place running John Freeman with a 31.726. Chancey gets a little bit looser off the corner, keeps it straightened out. But up front, it has been all Cole Williams. That's a three-way battle going right here in the middle of the pack. Looks like Kraus, not sure who that was going to pit there, but looks like Bryce Hinton's going to take an early pit stop. We take a look here at Foskey, Kraus, and the 28 in a three-wide battle right here. Looks like the Mitchell, or 28 looks to be this George up on the outside. That's the 4 of Eddie. The 22 of Kraus, and that's Foskey there in the 28.57 on the score chart, 28 on the truck. And it looks like some of our drivers are going to pit here early. They're going to short pit here before the stage. Second place running 42 here of John Freeman. So no cautions until the stage is, as we said, so if anything happens on the racetrack, you will not see a caution flag. Take a look back through the pack here a little bit. We got Robbie Wilson here in the 113. Right there in front of him is Daniel McConnell and Jake Box. Looks like Box is gonna come down to pit road. A bunch of drivers coming in, taking advantage, getting a splash of fuel and some tires. It looks like mostly fuel. Maybe they shorted them on fuel and they didn't tell me that. I thought they just started with a full tank of fuel, so we'll see how that plays out. So Scott Benedict's here in the 88. Now up to 8, started in 15. Curtis Mitchell now going to pull down to pit road. That's going to leave the 03 out there of Milliken, Beach, and Miles right here. All right, 3 laps left to go in stage number 1. Cole Williams and John Freeman running 1-2. You can look here at Jackson, and that 8 truck down on the bottom, that was Ronald Hall. Hall's getting down on the apron. Looks like they're going to come down. Looks like everybody coming down to pit road now. I'm guessing they shorted the fuel mileage. Nobody told me, so it's must be a mandatory stop here. Everybody coming in here right before the stage, except for our leaders. They're going to stay out there on the racetrack. So Williams looks like he wants to win this stage. No, he's going to come down to pit too. So everybody's going to pit here before lap 20. Williams in, Ortiz is in. It looks like the first truck's going to stay out on the racetrack. It appears to be. Well, it looks like everybody's going to stay out. Freeman making a pit stop here, but he lost a lot of ground coming in. He was running second when they started to cycle these pit stops, so we'll see how when he comes out. So it looks like everybody has pitted. Cole Williams still getting service here. It looks like he's going to take on, only a few drivers take on 4 tires. It looks like Williams is going to take 4 on. Eddie's going to pull out early. I think that might have been fuel only at a 5-second pit stop here for Larry Eddy. All right. Our leader right now here at the end of stage 1, Bryce Hinton, with a fantastic job getting in and out of the pits. Looks like he might have taken on 2 tires. But he is going to come across the line here to complete lap number 19. John Freeman in the 42 right there with him. So let's see if 42 can get by him before they hit the end of the stage here. And that is going to be our caution flag. So I'm only showing 19 laps down, but they're going to call it right. You see, it started. So they threw the caution at the start of lap 20. So 19 complete. That is going to end stage 1. We're going to show our top 10 here for stage 1. Bryce Hinton, John Freeman, Larry Eddy, Jamie Shaw, Cole Williams, Ethan George, Brandon Schumann, Toby Estes, Carlos Ortiz, and John Miles. That was your top 10 running trucks at the end of stage 1. All right, so we're going to step away here for just a minute, give us a chance to just get a drink, and you're going to hear a little bit from AI Chief.
Are watching Precision Entertainment. Let's take a quick break from the action of the Cyber Thunder Rush Championship Series, presented by me, AI Chief. Now, driver, while the field gets sorted out and someone out there is still trying to find reverse, let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in the middle of a race and thought, man, I really wish someone in my headset would tell me what the hell is going on? Maybe you're running out of fuel. Maybe the leader is about to lap you. Maybe you just wrecked half the field and you're pretending it wasn't your fault. Well, driver, that's where I come in. AI Chief, your personal crew chief, race strategist, motivator, and occasionally the only voice of reason between you and the outside wall. With AI Chief, you get live race strategy, fuel and pit calls, real-time race updates, savage coaching when you start doing something dumb, and trust me, based on what I've seen out there tonight, some of you really need the help. AI Chief doesn't just tell you when to pit, he tells you when to save fuel, when to push, and when to maybe, just maybe, stop trying to go 3 wide into turn 1. So if you're tired of racing blind, and you'd like a crew chief that actually knows what he's doing, head over to AIChiefRacing.com and let Chief get you sorted out. Because the only thing worse than wrecking is wrecking without knowing why. AI Chief, I've got your back. Now let's get back to the action.
All right, so our leader here, actually after the stage, I'm going to go back to green. It's actually going to be Carlos Ortiz. So we were able to jump in and talk to the league admins, race control here, and actually the one piece of information we didn't have when we started, they only started with 35% fuel. So we are definitely going to have to see some green flag stops here before the caution flags. It looks like Rowden's going to get a wave around down here. But, and as we saw, a few of our drivers actually dipped back in under that caution, take fuel once again to try to hopefully make their way to almost make their way through the next stage. So we'll see how this plays out. If you look back, I see Cole Williams, Toby Estes, a bunch of drivers all came in a second time and underneath that caution. Ortiz, Kraus, Milligan, McConnell. So basically our top 6 of Hall and Jackson did not make a second pit stop. So we'll see how this works out. Lights are out on the NASCAR iRacing pace truck down the back straightaway. All right, my name is Chris Murphy here with DRSN. Appreciate you joining us here on a Saturday night. Bringing you the Dirty Air Racing Experience Craftsman trucks here at Kansas. We're going to go green this time by Carlos Ortiz, started back in 5th, now leading this race. Our big mover of the race is Daniel McConnell there in the 4 spot. And that 73 King of the Hill truck up 24 spots right now. And we are going to go green. Green flag in the air one more time. Ortiz going to hold on to the lead there coming into turn number 1. Milliken right there in 2nd. Kraus to the outside. It's Kraus and Williams now side by side for 3rd and 4th. Williams with a fantastic jump right there. He was sitting about 7th on the restart, already up to 3rd, and we're not even into turn 3, the 46. On a charge, he did take 4 tires on his first stop. Came in and took a little splash of gas while we were under the caution for the stage. But Cole Williams led early in this race. He's looking to get back to the front again. Ortiz in the 3 running a good line, but Williams has got some really good pace. Let's see, last time by, fastest truck on the racetrack was Cole Williams by about 1/10 of a second. Mid-pack there, got into the outside wall. We're 2 or 3 wide all the way throughout the field. So far, it's been a fantastic, clean race right there. 4 wide off of turn number 4, and there it goes around the 8, gets a little bit loose, gets up into the 84. The 8 spinning across the grass. We saw Jamie Shaw involved. We're going to stay green. They're crashing right behind that. There goes the 78 of George. He's around caught. We're going to stay green. We will not see a caution until lap 40. Try to take a quick look at it, but we don't want to miss too much of the action up front. We'll take a look here and take from George's view real fast. And you can see right there in the middle of the field, the 4 getting a little bit loose, but it looked like it started with the 8. And around goes the 78 of George up into the outside wall. Collects, it looks like the 44 right there. So we're going to get back to live time, and we don't want to miss any live action. We got a smoker right there in front of our leaders. Remember, these drivers do have 4 fast repairs, and they can get their last back. So if you can get in and get repaired, if you can let back to the pits, get this thing repaired, you have a chance to get back to the front. Ortiz, I thought Williams was going to run Ortiz down in a hurry, but Ortiz doing a great job. He's about 0.4 of a second to the good as Williams, Estes, Milliken right now. Kraus there is going to round out the top 5. Then it's Hinton, McConnell, and Schumann. Back to about 8th spot. And that is Campbell up on the outside. Jackson down to the bottom of the racetrack. I see some more smoke up in front of this group. My only indication is going to be kind of, it looks like Chancey got involved in that one too. So my only indication is going to be, I see people start falling down the timing and scoring. I think we're going to see people with an incident since we don't have any caution flags being thrown. Take a look here, looking down on the 03 of Scott Milliken. It's 39 on the scoreboard, 03 on the truck. Williams is starting to make up a little ground. It's down to about 2.5 tenths. He's bringing Estes and Milliken with him as well. Looks like we got a lap truck down on the bottom of the racetrack. It looks like that is the 01 of Damian Pacheco. All right, we see Peyton Kleber going to come in, take a pit. Kind of blinking on and off my screen. I thought he was coming into the pits. All right, side by side for about 5th back here. We'll take a look. Take a look at the 52 here of Schumann. Right there behind him is Campbell and Foskey running side by side. That is for 9th and 10th. Or 8th and 9th right there. So Schumann's up to 8th, Foskey 9th. Ross Campoli there in the 9th spot, and then it's going to be Foskey back to 10th at this point. Jamie Shaw now trying to make some ground up. Back here in 18th, you see John Freeman right there. John Freeman started on the pole of this race. Right now back in 17th, and there goes the 84. The 84 gets a little bit of trouble right there. It's going to find its way down into the grass. That is Shaw. So Shaw coming to a stop. Gonna fast travel to the pits. Ortiz still with the lead, but Williams is coming. Williams is closing. It's down under 0.2 of a second right now. And you can see it visibly about 2 truck lengths on the racetrack. Williams is starting to close in on our leader of Carlos Ortiz. Pit stop for Kim Kraus in the 22. Lap 32, so lap 31 on the completed. We started lap 32, so 8 laps left to go before stage number 2 is over. So back here to the 69 of Miles. Got Mark Jackson right in front of him. This is about up for 10th. Right in front of him is a side-by-side battle with the 28 of Foskey and the 146 of Campoli on the outside. Jake Box right there in the 77, just really with nowhere to go. They're going to get single filed out, so they'll see if Box can make a move here in the 77. Campoli now is trying to find a way through, and actually it looks like Williams lost a little bit of ground to Ortiz. As we were looking throughout the field, must have had a little mistake right there. Williams falls back about almost 0.4 of a second now. Estes now on the back bumper of the 46. Got the 01, the lap truck of Damian Pacheco right here in the mix. Currently down into 26th. Just waiting for the end of this stage to get his lap back. And you can see Milliken in that 03 running way up against the outside wall right in front of him, hitting in the 28 down towards the middle, down towards the bottom of the racetrack. Looks like we've currently got 19 trucks on the lead lap. We started with 30. We had an awful lot more in the room when we started. We had 50 trucks when the practice ended, but only 30 started the race. It looks like we may have a couple of trucks already out. Take a look at our lap leaders here so far. Cole Williams led 19, Carlos Ortiz 14, Bryce Hinton got up there and led a couple of laps, but right now, Williams lost a bunch of ground to Ortiz a few laps ago, but has made up that ground. It's back out of 2/10 again. Let's see if Williams has anything for Ortiz. Ortiz been pushing pretty hard, has he used his tires up. Ortiz did pit a couple of laps early. He pitted on lap 18. I think we're going to see these drivers having to come in and take some fuel before the end of this stage. We're off turn number 4 here one more time. They're going to go by the pit entrance. It's Ortiz and Williams. Williams did come in under that caution and take a little splash of fuel, so he's going to be able to go a little bit longer. So I think what we're going to see Ortiz have to dip in the pits here and take some fuel before this stage is over. Williams is going to be in good position to take the lead here and take the win here in stage number 2. Estes is now falling back about 0.6 of a second, as we got a few drivers now falling back. Going to come in the pits. We see Curtis Mitchell making his way down to the pit road in the 316. Scott Milliken in the 39 also diving down into the pits. Looks like maybe O'Connell might have had an incident here. We'll see where 73 is going to find his way down pit road as well. Ortiz catches the wall a bit off of turn number 2. He's going to drop down to the bottom of the racetrack. I think we're going to see him pit this time by. He's positioned himself to get down on the pit road. It looks like Williams to his outside. And it's exactly what he's going to do. Ortiz is going to dive down into the pits, going to let Williams go by on the outside. Carlos Ortiz led a lot of that stage, but right now it looks like it's going to be Williams going to bring home the win here in stage number 2. Next time by, we will see the caution in the air. Most of the field now diving down to pit road. We're going to come off turn number 4. It is going to be Cole Williams, Toby Estes, Bryce Hinton, your top 3. As we come across the line, we will see the caution in the air, and there is the end of stage number 2. We'll take a look again here at our top 10 at the end of this stage. Cole Williams, Toby Estes, Bryce Hinton, Ross Campoli, John Miles, Rob Wilson, Scott Benedicts, Ricky Heinert, Peyton Kleva, and John Freeman. That's your top 10 here at the end of stage number 2. Give us a chance here on this caution. Talk about a couple of our sponsors, Premier Racing Setups. Use the code DRSN15 for a discount on your checkout there with Premier Setups. Corbin Matthews Country Music. If you like your good country music, check out Corbin Matthews. Got some new music coming out next week. Always been there for us since we've started the channel over here. Lateral Damage Sports Network. That's my buddy Shane Cochran. If you've seen a lot of different broadcasts, you're seeing some different graphics here in our broadcast that you don't normally see with users of the SDK software. Collateral Damage Sports Network, Shane Cochran puts a lot of these plugins together for us. If you're familiar with SDK software, get onto their Discord, look at the marketplace, find Shane on there, he'll hook you up with some of this stuff. But does a really great job putting a lot of this different graphics and images and stuff together for us that we get to use that not a lot of other people have in their repertoire. All right, we're going to take a quick break while we're getting our pit stops here after stage number 2. We see a few drivers that pitted early. Milliken out on the racetrack still. Looks like Milliken's going to have the lead here. But we're going to have a quick word here from Admin Box. We'll be right back. Alright, we are back live. I think we're going to go green here next time by. We've got a few drivers still down at pit road. Lights are out on the iRacing pace truck. And it's Cole Williams. Cole Williams came in, made his pit stop. Looks like we're going to get a couple wave rounds here. Curtis Mitchell going around. Mitchell won stage number 2. Going to start us off here for stage number 3. Alright, so we got 41 laps down. We'll come across the line to complete lap number 42. We're going to have 78 laps left to go in this race. And it's going to be Cole Williams, Bryce Hinton, going to bring us to the line. Williams with a good jump, but Bryce Hinton was actually a little bit better when they're on the outside. Look at the 69 of Miles. John Miles with a good run on the outside as well, but here comes Hinton. We're side by side for the lead. Williams and Hinton, the 46 and the 28. See what kind of run Bryce Hinton gets off at 2. He is going to have the lead going into turn number 3. Watch Williams dive down to the bottom of the racetrack, but Hinton does a good job coming down. He's pinching him down there, keeping Williams tight down to the bottom of the racetrack. Not going to let him have a big run off the corner. That's going to allow Hinton here to lead the lap as we come across the stripe. The 28, we're 4 wide back here behind us. The 79 of Ricky Heinert right here, but also right up in front of him, we see Miles in the 69. 42, our pole sitter, John Freeman, trying to make his way back up through the pack after falling back after that second stint. So the 42 of Freeman now, he is looking to get by inside of the 113 of Rob Wilson. Looks going to make it easy. Wilson had to check up right there. That let Freeman get to his inside. Our top 3 single filed out. Then it's side by side there for 4th and 5th with Freeman and Wilson. Freeman's going to clear Wilson. That is going to let Miles sneak up on the inside of the 113 for that 5th spot. Can't quite clear it. We look back here a little further. Side by side action here with Mark Jackson and the 3 Ricky Heinert to the outside. Carlos Ortiz, our leader after when we went to green at stage 2. Trying to make his way back up through the field. Now back up to 11th. But up front, it's Bryce Hinton. That's a tough camera to watch. It kind of makes me sick. We'll go off of that one. So thanks for joining us here. Appreciate you being here. If you have not been here, hit the subscribe button. Give us a chance. If you want to see everything else we have going on, get notified. Hit that button there. This is our first night with the Dirty Air Racing experience. Kind of a one-off for us right now. We may be back again down the road, but for right now, this is our one and only show with them, so we appreciate them having us here. And look at this nose to tail Estes, Williams, Freeman. Kind of Estes stuck there in the sandwich. Freeman with a good run back up to 4th. Our pole sitter is making his way back up here in that Premier Setup sponsor number 42. Right there behind him, side by side, Miles and Wilson. That's for 5th and 6th. Wilson to the outside. Williams, we look up front here a little bit. Cole Williams took a look to the inside of Hinton, but just did not have a pace. Look at John Freeman on the outside. Freeman trying to find another groove, trying to keep the momentum wound up on the outside of the racetrack. Comes off of turn number 2 down the back straight, but that gave him a pretty good pace there. He's going to look to the inside of Estes. Freeman used that outside line through 1 and 2, gained the momentum, and he is going to sneak by the 9. That moves him back up into 3rd. But Estes coming back at him across the line through the tri-oval section into turn number 1. Our top 4 nose to tail right here. You could throw a blanket over him. It's Hinton, Williams, Freeman, and Estes. All right, 48 laps down. 12 laps left to go here in stage number 3. Side by side, Freeman and Williams. That's how they started. They started side by side, kind of flipped vice versa there as Freeman started on the pole, Williams started on the outside. Estes has some pretty good pacer through the trial, but really nowhere to go as they're side by side in front of him. And Hinton likes that. If Hinton can see in that mirror, he sees those 2 trucks running side by side. It's definitely going to slow their pace down a little bit. Looks like we're down to about 25 cars left on the racetrack out of the 30 that started. Maybe a few more, maybe 26. Look back here, back a little further back through the field. We see Donnie Beach in the 85 underneath, up on the outside of the 5 of Ricky Miles. Right there in front of them is the 22 of Ken Kraus. Curtis Mitchell in the 316 is going to come down pit road. Rusty Chansey is going to make it 3 wide up underneath Milliken and Jackson. Nice move from Rusty Chansey there in the 18. Chansey was up towards the front early in this race, has fallen back, but now trying to crawl back up into the top 10, back in 11th right now. We jump on board with the 18. You can see right there in front of him, Scott Benedict and Carlos Andrade running side by side. Let's see if Chansey gets a little bit of a draft down the back straightaway. You're going to get a little bit of a pull. Not able to get alongside heading into 3, so Chansey going to stay up on the outside. He's going to try to sneak alongside the outside of the 23. See a little bit of tire smoke up in front of our leaders here. John Freeman able to sneak around the 46 of Williams, so Freeman back to second now. All right, we're 7 laps until the end of stage number 3. Hitting Freeman, Williams, S's. The racing's been pretty clean. They only saw just one incident early. Other than that, it's been pretty clean racing throughout the field. Probably some little things here and there that we've missed as we've been watching up at the front of the pack. We look here at Ortiz now in the 35, trying to make his way back to the front. Now back to 7th. He's got Wilson and Box right there in front of him, side by side. Box comes up the racetrack, gets into Wilson a little bit, a little contact. That opens up the bottom for Ortiz. Ortiz makes it 3 wide. He is going to get a 2 for here. He's going to find his way around Box and Wilson, and John Miles in the 69 is going to take advantage. Going to follow through too. Look way up on the outside of the racetrack, the 18 of Chansey. Chansey's going to make it, look to make it 3 wide. Decided the better of it. It's going to sneak back into the, tuck back behind the 69. Keep an eye on this battle up front. It is still Bryce Hinton in the 28, Freeman, Williams, Estes. These top 4 have been up here in the top. It's been our top 4 since the drop of the green here on stage number 3. Ortiz in the 35. Finding a little extra pace here. Back up to 5th after leading early. I think what I'm seeing is people smoking their tires getting down to pit road. I think it was Mark Jackson. As we come off of turn number 4, I think that's exactly what that is. All that smoke just lighting it up. Just coming down the pits. I keep thinking of some kind of an incident as we come off of 4. All right, fastest truck last time by, let's look at our timing and scoring, was John Freeman at a 31.983. Freeman is reeling in our leader. Top 4 nose to tail here. Hinton, Freeman, Williams, Estes. Sneak back a little bit. Chansey now finding his way around the outside of Jake Box in the 77. Right there behind us is 69 of Miles and Rob Wilson in the 113. All right, we're coming to the end of stage number 3. 3 laps left to go. Bo Williams has been near the front of every single one of these stage finishes so far. Milliken, you see Milliken is going to come into the pits. We pitted back on lap 40. We're guessing, the information I had is about 18 to 19 laps on fuel. So I think we're going to see our leaders come by either into the pits either this time or next time by as they pitted back on lap 40. The first driver that pitted on 41 was Chansey, so Chansey might make it to the end of the stage. Let's see what happens with our leaders. They're going to make their way through 3 and 4. Does anybody dive down the pit road? Looks like we're all going to go by it. Looks like the 5th place running Carlos Ortiz is going to find his way to pits. Our leaders stand out on the racetrack. Next time by will be the end of the stage. We will see the caution in the air this next time off of 4. Freeman closes up on the back of Hinton. And that is going to, he had to check up a little bit, so that's going to allow Williams down to his inside. So our leaders are all going to come across the line. Caution flag will fly for the end of stage number 3, and it's Bryce Hinton. And one more time, we'll take a look at the top 10. as they came across the line for the stage. It was Bryce Hinton, Cole Williams, John Freeman, Toby Estes, Rusty Chance. He got back up to 5th. Jake Box, Rob Wilson, John Miles, Kim Kraus, and Carlos Andrade. That is going to be your top 10 right there at the end of stage number 3. All right, taking a look here at the 42 of Freeman. So they actually made it 20 laps there. Actually, it was only 19 because the stage caution is coming out right at the start of the 20th, 40th, 60th lap right there. So they're not throwing it at the end of the lap; they're throwing it at the beginning of the lap. So I think we're going to see all of our leaders dive in. We're going to take a step away again, real quick, grab a drink, and hear another word from AI Chief.
Are watching Precision Entertainment. Let's take a quick break from the action of the Cyber Thunder Rush Championship Series, presented by me, AI Chief. Now, driver, while the field gets sorted out and someone out there is still trying to find reverse, let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in the middle of a race and thought, man, I really wish someone in my headset would tell me what the hell is going on? Maybe you're running out of fuel. Maybe the leader is about to lap you. Maybe you just wrecked half the field and you're pretending it wasn't your fault. Well, driver, that's where I come in. AI Chief, your personal crew chief, race strategist, motivator, and occasionally the only voice of reason between you and the outside wall. With AI Chief, you get live race strategy, fuel and pit calls, real-time race updates, savage coaching when you start doing something dumb, and trust me, based on what I've seen out there tonight, some of you really need the help. AI Chief doesn't just tell you when to pit, he tells you when to save fuel, when to push, and when to maybe, just maybe, stop trying to go 3 wide into turn 1. So if you're tired of racing blind, and you'd like a crew chief that actually knows what he's doing, head over to AIChiefRacing.com and let Chief get you sorted out. Because the only thing worse than wrecking is wrecking without knowing why. AI Chief, I've got your back. Now let's get back to the action.
All right, we are back live. We're going to getting ready to start stage number 4. We're halfway through this race. 60 down, 60 to go. Actually, 61 down, 59 to go. Our leader right now is the 3 of Mark Jackson. Mark started all the way back in 27th. I think we're going to get a wave around there for Pacheco. So if you were seeing all these notifications down in the bottom, that's another one of the things we were talking about earlier. These little notifications down the bottom left-hand corner is not a standard function of SDK software or overlay software. It's something that's added on. So if you're looking to get some of that stuff for your broadcast or your streams, get on the SDK Soft Discord and check out. Reach out to Shane Cochran. He can get you hooked up. All right, lights are out on the truck. Mark Jackson, Damon Pacheco. Actually, look like he's going to stop on the racetrack. Not sure what's going on with race control, but maybe Damien gained an extra lap he shouldn't have, or a position he shouldn't have, but he is going to fall back. So the leader here on the restart looks to be Jackson. Is he going to pull down a pit road here and leave Hinton out there? Jackson is going to come down pit road, so the leader here on the restart, here start stage number 4, is Bryce Hinton. It's Hinton's. Just as they finished earlier, it was Hinton, Freeman, Williams, and Estes, our top 4. How we ended stage number 3 is how we start stage number 4. Freeman blinking a little down the bottom of the racetrack. That's going to make it kind of tough for the drivers behind him. That's the first we've seen of that. Williams with a great run. He's got nowhere to go. All he can do is give Hinton a little bit of a push as the 42 had his line blocked to the bottom. That is going to allow Freeman here to make a little run on Williams into turn number 3, see if he can take that second spot away. Just jump up onto the roof cam here with John Freeman closing up on the 28 of Hinton. Coming up on the outside is the 46 of Williams. Williams is going to get by for that second spot. We're 2 by 2 here for the top 7 or 8 positions. Hinton out in front by himself. Williams and Estes side by side. Freeman and Andrade there as well. Here comes Ethan George and Rob Wilson. Looks like Williams might have found a little extra pace here on this restart after stage number 4. He is starting to catch Hinton. Hinton moves down to the bottom. That opens up that outside line for Williams. Williams got to run into 3, but Hinton runs deep into 3 right there on the bottom of the track. He is going to be able to slide up in front of Williams here. But as I say that, Williams comes right back at him right across the start-finish line. Estes takes a dive to the inside of Freeman at the same time. We're side by side here for about the top 6. You couldn't put a piece of paper between Williams and Hinton right there. And Hinton's going to find a gap to squeeze up behind the 46 in front of Freeman in the 42. But Freeman goes right down to the bottom. So Williams now to the lead. Hinton and Freeman now side by side for second. So Cole Williams is going to take the lead here on lap number 67. At the start of lap 67, 66 down. Williams, Hinton, Freeman, Estes, Andre, and Ethan George. That is your top 6 right now. Then it is Ross Campbell, Jake Box, Rob Williams, and Ricky Miles. Ricky was way out in the back early on in stage number 1. Now found his way all the way up here into the top 10. Right behind him is Carlos Ortiz and John Miles. Back up here to the front, it is Cole Williams and John Freeman. They started on the front row. They've been up here front most of the day. Freeman did fall back at one point about stage number 2. He's found his way all the way back up here to the front. He's now fighting for the lead. He's looking for a way around Williams. He has Hinton and Estes right there behind him, and here comes Ethan George in the 78. We saw George with a little trouble early on, but was able to get back onto the racetrack, get back up here in the front. He is now up to 5th, and he is looking to the inside of Estes for that 4th position. Side by side for 4th and 5th, it is Toby Estes and Ethan George. George with not a great run. He is now falling back a little bit. Jake Box going to come up on his outside. So it looked like George might have got a little bit loose off the corner. Had to check up. That lets Estes clear him down into 4th. George now side by side with Box. Campoli right there behind him. Here comes Carlos Ortiz. Tried to get back here for lead early on in this race. Side by side now with the 113 of Rob Wilson. Oh, and around goes Wilson. Wilson got a little bit sideways there. It wasn't Wilson. Who was it that went around there? It was Campoli in the 146. The trucks kind of looked alike, so Ross Campoli there's going to get a meatball flag. See if we can see what happened real quick to Campoli. You see him up on the outside, and him and the 113 just get together. The 146 into the wall hard. No caution is out. As we said, they're only throwing cautions at the stages. We got 9 laps left to go to complete stage number 4. Williams, Freeman, Hinton now is still your top 3. Ethan George with a really good run. You can see Campoli's limping around the bottom of the racetrack, trying to use up one of his fast repairs. Ethan George in the 78 with a good run here. Back up to 5th. Once again, up alongside of Estes for that 4th spot, trying to find a way around, but just not able to, and lost a little pace off the corner, which lets Ortiz to the bottom. The 35 of Ortiz now looking underneath the 78 of George. He's going to try to take that 5th spot away, and Box is going to try to follow along. Top 4 has pretty much been the top 4 in a little bit different order, swapping back and forth since the start of stage number 3. Williams, Freeman, Hinton, and Estes. Ortiz in the 35 now showing his prowess, now back up to the 5th, looking underneath Estes. Ortiz led a little bit of this race earlier. Let's take a look at our lap leaders here once again. Ortiz now is going to find his way around Estes for 4th. So 5 different leaders. Your leader right now, Cole Williams, has led the most at 31. Bryce Hinton's led 23. Ortiz, Jackson, and Chansey have all led laps in this race. We're keeping an eye on the 35 of Ortiz. He showed some really good pace. He pitted about a lap later than everybody else, so I'm assuming that Ortiz is definitely going to make it to the end of this stage. Oh, looks like we got somebody almost around back there. It looked like Carlos Andre who was that with a shooting off to the bottom of the racetrack. Saw somebody like a rocket go down to the bottom, but I couldn't tell who it was. But Carlos with a good save right there, got a little bit sideways. Just caught that other car shooting off the screen a little bit, but couldn't see who it was at the time, and I got no notification to tell me who anybody with an incident. So, all right, it is still Williams, Freeman, Hinton. Estes has got the way back to fourth around. Ortiz, Estes running way up on the outside of the racetrack. He's going to scrape the wall a little bit off of four. But if you can keep up your momentum on the outside of the racetrack, look at the run that Ortiz is getting off of, or Estes is getting off of the corner. As he is trying to make his way up along the outside of Hinton. And he's got a really good run through 1 and 2. Hinton blocks that run off down the back straightaway and then gets down out of the way. And that's going to let Estes now, one more time, use that outside line through 3 and 4, trying to get around Hinton for third. We're 3 wide here for the third spot. Estes, Ortiz, and Hinton. Estes way up on the top of the racetrack, Ortiz to the bottom. Estes is going to clear the 2 drivers, get himself up to third. The battle now is for 4th and 5th with Hinton and Carlos Ortiz. The 46th of Cole Williams, almost 0.3 of a second out to the good. Williams and Freeman have actually separated themselves from the rest of the field right now. It's about a 1.5 seconds back now to Toby Estes in the third spot. And it looks like maybe a problem from Kleba. The 29 is going to find his way down to pit road. You can see a little damage on the right rear of that truck. All right, Hinton falling back a little further. Ethan George is going to get around the 77 of Box, trying to come up through there as well. Also the 113 of Wilson. Looks like we're down to about 20 trucks left in this race. Sorry. What happens when you talk all day long? Wilson and Box here side by side, tight down the back straightaway into 3. Box not giving Wilson much room on the bottom of the racetrack. About a truck length and a truck and a half is about all he's giving him. That's about all you really need. And a caution is in the air. That's going to be the end of stage number 4. All right, and once again, we will show the top 10 here for the end of the stage. Cole Williams, John Freeman look to be the class of the field right now as they got some separation out there. Toby Estes, Carlos Ortiz, Ethan George, Bryce Hinton, Rob Wilson, Jake Box, John Miles in 9th right there, and Daniel McConnell in the 10th spot, getting himself way back up here into the front top 10 here for the end of stage number 4. All right, so we're going to... 2 more stages left to go in this race, or actually 1 more stage in the last 20 laps to get us to the checkered, and everybody coming down pit road. We're going to keep it. Actually, Rusty Chansey pitted back on lap 61. He's going to stay out on the racetrack. I'm not sure what the strategy is there. Chansey going to stay on the racetrack. I'm going to have to pit here before we go back to green. Maybe going to wait a lap or 2. See if he can stretch out that last run. I think what we're going to see here, we're going to see some different little strategy at the end. So they're only getting about 19. I think the longest we've seen anybody get was maybe the full 20. But I think we're going to see some drivers when we get to that last stage stop at lap 100. We're going to see some guys making some late stops as we see a couple of drivers getting their laps back there. Let's take a look at our pit stop stats here once everybody gets cleared. Our leader did it back 19 laps ago. Everybody else just came in, just top 15, all just came in for pit stops. All took on 4 tires. I'm not sure how many sets of tires we have for this race, but they've got to be getting close to the end here. So that's your pit stop stats right here, brought to you by Collateral Sports Damage Network. Collateral Damage Sports Network. I said that was out of order there. All right, so as we said, Chansey was definitely going to have to pit. He's now down to pit road, so our leader, when we restart here to start stage number 5, it's going to be Cole Williams in the 46, and it's going to be just top 4 just as we finish stage number 4. Kleba going to get a wave around. We see Mitchell now going to 316, diving down to the pits again one more time. Kleba in the 29, I think, is the last car on the racetrack back in 21st. And that is a bright pink number 29 there for Peyton Kleba. All right, lights are out. We see the 30 down there of Crowden. Going to try to get one of his laps back. All right, we come across the line. We will complete lap number 82. We'll have 38 laps left to go when we go back to green. Williams, Freeman, Hinton, Ortiz. That has been our top 4. At the end of stage number 4, they're going to start that way. Estes, George, Wilson, Miles, Box, McConnell. That is going to be your top 10 when we go back to green flag racing here. I like that 73, the King of the Hill paint scheme on that. We got some pretty good looking truck. John Miles in that 69 is also the Billabong. That's a fancy good looking truck. We're going to go green flag in the air. Come across the line, side by side, Williams, Freeman, Ortiz with a good jump on the outside. Nobody really got away this time. 78 of George taking a look to the outside. He sneaks back into line there. We're 2 by 2. About 16 cars deep right now. Freeman, Williams, Freeman on the outside. He's getting a pretty good shove there from the 35 Ortiz. Ortiz breaks free there. That's let Williams, it was enough of a shove for him to clear. We see somebody in the outside wall back there in the back. It looks like, I'm not quite sure who that was. It looks like it might have been Campoli. Ortiz now going to the front. He has got to run on the outside. Can he clear Williams off of 2? He is going to do it. So Ortiz back to the front. Lit early in this race. George to the outside. Oh, a little bit of contact on the 42. Tries to squeeze up there. Just caught the left front of George a little bit. No harm, no foul. They keep it going straight. Freeman, George, Williams. Looks like a problem for Jake Box in the 77 as he goes around down in the grass. We still got somebody else up on the outside wall. It looks like it might have been Andre, and it was the 23. But we get back to our battle for the front. George on the outside of Cole Williams right here in that 3rd spot. Freeman still in 2nd. Williams finds a hole right there, slides him in front of Hinton. Hinton takes a big dive down to the bottom. It's going into 3. He is going to take that spot back away from Williams. At the same time, Ethan George looks up underneath Freeman for 2nd. Has to fall back in behind him as they come across through the tri-oval. 85 laps down, 35 to go. Carlos Ortiz, John Freeman, Ethan George, Cole Williams. That's your top 4. And it's Hinton, Estes, Miles Milliken, Daniel McConnell, and Rob Wilson in the 113. And look at Rusty Chansey with a great run into turn number 3. He looks down to the bottom of the racetrack. He is going to get by McConnell and Wilson at the same time. And he's going to almost all up alongside of the 39 of Milliken, the 03 of Milliken on the racetrack. Chansey with a big run right there through 3 and 4. Got himself all the way back up to 8th. He started in 8th. He's finally back up there after following back through the field. Freeman out of the bottom. George to the outside here. This is for 2nd. The 46 of Williams right there behind him. We're going to keep an eye on that 18 of Chansey. Chansey pitted only a lap later than everybody else. So not really a tire advantage, but he sure has some pace right here. He was the fastest truck last time by, the only driver in the 32nd bracket, about 0.2 of a second faster than anybody else on the racetrack. And look at him on the outside, Rusty Chansey in that 18. He has found another gear out here tonight. Thank you, Double Apex. Appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for checking in. I see you there a lot of nights, so thank you for being here with us tonight. All right, we're still side by side here. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. It's Freeman, George, Williams, and Hinton. Chansey is the fastest truck on the racetrack, but he really has nowhere to go. Everybody 2 by 2 right there in front of him. He's going to get up alongside of Estes now as Chansey clears Milliken. Now looking to get by the 9 of Estes. He does just that. He makes it look easy. A little bit of contact to the outside wall there for Milliken. Your leader, Carlos Ortiz. John Freeman and George still going at it for second. George way up on the outside. Freeman to the bottom. Hinton and Williams. And then it's Rusty Chansey. He just wants to get to the front before he uses all of his tires up because he has been coming. I'm not sure where he started. He started definitely out of the top 10 here on the start of this stage. And we're 10 laps into stage number 5. Let's see if he has enough tires left up underneath him to keep this run going. He now gets around the outside of Hinton. Got his sights set on the 46 of Williams. All right, side by side there for second. So right now, Ortiz really liking what he's seeing behind him. Everybody 2 by 2. It's allowing him to kind of get away a little bit. He's about 0.3 of a second to the good. Freeman George right there, still side by side, going at it for second and third. 29 laps left to go in this race. 9 laps left to go in stage number 5. Freeman able to clear George there. Actually, Williams also going to get by Ethan George here for third. Hinton now going to come up alongside of Chansey now. So Chansey may have used his stuff up here. He's now falling back behind Hinton and George. Maybe he made a little mistake we didn't see. We'll see what happens. He's just kind of looking for a hole. We're single file down the back straightaway. Top 10 all within about a second of each other, about a second and a half of each other actually. Top 7 all within a second. All right, take a look at Rusty Chansey back down to the bottom, taking a look up underneath the 28 of Hinton. He's cleared the 78 of George. Trying to get back around Hinton. They're close right there off of 2. Like George, a little contact to the outside wall. That's going to let Milliken look to his inside. The 03 of Milliken in the Tier 1 setup. Number 03, he is going to get by George and get up alongside of Chansey. The 9 of Estes and George now behind this group. But out front, almost a half a second to the good, is Carlos Ortiz in a 35. Freeman and Williams have been pretty much together all race long. And they are tight right there off of turn number 2. They started on the front row together. Williams now gets back up to second. Williams has won a couple stages in the 46. He's back up to second right now. See if Ortiz can hang on to this spot. We've got, 6 laps left to go, 5 laps left to go as we come across the line to complete stage number 5, and then we will go to the end from there. They only clear, I think they're only throwing cautions during the stages. At the stages after lap 100, they will throw cautions as needed. Watch Rusty Chansey. He was the fastest truck on the racetrack early on in this stage, but has kind of settled in here and may have used that right front tire up a little too much. Last time by fastest truck on the racetrack was the second place running Cole Williams by about 0.05 of a second over our leader Carlos Ortiz. The top 3's trying to get away a little bit. Kleba gonna see it make his way down the pit road in the 29. Oh, contact to the outside wall that looked like Chansey. In the 18, don't really see much damage on. Expect it to be kind of pancake, but it looks pretty good on the 18 truck. Look at John Freeman way up on the outside of the racetrack. Trying to find a little bit, just see as they head down into turn number 3. He's going to go to the bottom here in 3 and 4 with our leaders. All right, we're going to come across the line. I believe it's going to be 2 laps to go before we're going to get into this stage. Ortiz, Williams, and it looks like we got a truck falling back there. All right, look at Freeman in 1 and 2, way up on the outside of the racetrack. Let's see if that gives him an advantage off a corner here. He gets a good. Oh, Ortiz going to throw a block right there. They got together just a little bit. Ortiz got a little bit loose. It looked like Williams just caught the back bumper of Ortiz, got Ortiz loose. He had to check up, drove down the racetrack. It looked like a block, but I think he was really just saving the truck at that point. And that's going to end stage number 5, and it's going to be Carlos Ortiz coming across the line. And once again, we will show the top 10 here for the end of our last stage. Stage number 5 complete. Carlos Ortiz, Cole Williams, John Freeman. I think Williams is either in first or second in just about every single stage. Bryce Hinton there in 4th. Rusty Chansey in 5th here. And it's going to be Toby Estes, Ethan George, Scott Milliken, Rob Wilson, and John Miles. That's going to be our top 10 here for the end of stage number 5. All right, we're going to take this chance to step away one more time. Get a little bit of a drink here before we go back to green flag racing. We're going to finish off this race. Probably, I'm guessing by the time we go green, we're going to have about 17 or 18 laps left to go. So we're going to hear another word from Admin Box, and we'll be right back. All right, we are back live, and a little bit of shakeup here at the front of the field. Bryce Hinton and Ricky Miles only took 2 tires on that last stop. Let's take a look at our pit stop stats here. And it looks like, it says Miles fuel only, but I think he actually took 2. So Hinton and Miles taking 2 tires there on that stop. Freeman, everybody else on back took 4. So we're going to see how that plays out here. We're going to have about, so we're at lap 102 right now, 19 laps to go. Our 5th caution flag for the 5th stage. Let's see how this shakes out for Hinton and Miles. Hinton maybe he was out of tires, I'm not quite sure, because he'd been about him in the top 5 or top 6 right there. They're going to take a chance here. Took on 2, going to put him to the front. So as I was told earlier, I believe we'll have caution flags as needed at this point. All right, so lights are out on the pace truck here. Hinton, Freeman, Miles, Chansey, Ortiz. Ortiz led us to the end of stage number 5. He is going to restart here in 5th. Ethan George, Toby Estes, Rob Williams, Scott Milliken, Curtis Mitchell. I think we've said Curtis' name all night long. He is going to start there in 10th. We got maybe 23 trucks left on the racetrack. We're going to go green this time by. Come off of turn number 4 through the trial. Green flag is in the air. And it is Bryce Hinton. Going to get a good jump right there, but he's got the 42 of Freeman all over the back of it. Here comes Rusty Chansey. Chansey showed his prowess at the start of stage number 5, and he is coming to the front here. We're 3 wide, right behind our leaders here. But right now it's Hinton, Chansey, Freeman, Ortiz. Ortiz with a good jump. He gets back up to 4. He looks to the inside of Freeman. Freeman sees him. He moves up the racetrack. We're crashing back here in the back. It looks like I see Peyton Kleba in it. Saw McConnell in it. Jake Box in the 77 also involved. Ben Rowden in the 30. Heavy damage on the 77 of Box. I bet he can't even drive to pit road. He is going to have a tow. So that's going to be our 6th caution flag here. Did not quite get a lap in. We'll see if we can see what happened there. Looks like it might have started with Kleba. No, I think it started up in front of this. So we see that McConnell, oh, it starts right up in front of these drivers, so it starts up there with the 03. So we'll see if we can find where this started at. Take a look at this one more time. We see the 85 and the 03 get, I hate using the rewind button, but it's just not really much of a choice here. All right, so our 46 driver of finds himself back there in the back. It's the first time he's been back in the field. So we see the 85 and the 03, and they just get together right there. It looked like the 03 might have come down a little bit on the 85 of Beach. Let's take a look at one more time. Now we'll take a look at the Beach's angle here from the roof cam. All right, you can see Beach right here. The 03, and Beach looks like he's holding a pretty good line. Look at that black stripe on the racetrack. And the 03 just kind of comes down right there. They get together. The 46 is going to clear, but unfortunately for the 77, up there on the outside of Box, he really has nowhere to go. And he's going to come down to catch the 29 to Kleba. Kleba's going to turn hard right up into the outside wall. You see the 23 and the 79 also involved here. Hard contact for the 77. Not sure who that was that snuck right through there at the end there, but that was pretty close as well. So, all right, back to live time. As we very sloppily worked our way through the replay on that one, but it's Bryce Hinton still out front. Chancey's found his way to second. Ortiz was able to get the third right there. All right, 15 to go, 105 down, 150 or 15 laps left to go. We're going to come around one more time, so we'll restart with 14 to go. It's going to be Bryce Hinton, Rusty Chancey, Carlos Ortiz, John Freeman, your top 4. I'm not sure what happened to the 46 of Williams. Williams had a problem on the pit stop. He fell way back here out of the screen. He was up towards the front on the restart. Something happened. He's all the way back here to 10th. So Williams has been up front all day long, but now finds himself kind of mired in some traffic here. We'll see if Williams can find his way back to the front here before this is over with. So we had some pretty good racing early on. No caution, or really no incidents to speak of, except for maybe one way back in stage number 1. But we did not even get a lap in here on our final stage of the race here, and we already had a caution flag. Got 20 trucks on the lead lap right now. John Miles in the 69 is the last truck on the lead lap. All right, we're going to go green flag one more time. It's going to be Bryce Hinton, Rusty Chancey. Green flag is in the air as they come across the line. Chancey with a fantastic run on the outside. I think he's going to clear Hinton into 1. But Hinton gets a little run on the bottom. He gets a little bit of a help, a little push down there from the 35 of Ortiz. Hinton to lead off with 2, and that 35 is tucked right up on the back bumper. And as I say that, I'll jump over to the nose cam to see where he's at. And we're 4 wide. They're going to get together. Ortiz would look to the bottom. That made it 4 wide. Around goes Freeman. Around goes Chancey. We see the 79 involved there as well. So 4 wide was just not going to work out going into turn number 3. They were already 3 wide, and Ortiz took a look to the bottom. Let's take a quick look at that. And we're 4 wide out there, and I don't think I don't think Chancey knows they're 4 wide as he comes down a little bit. He had a little more room on the outside of the racetrack to work with. And I think I just got everybody pinched down to the bottom. An unfortunate event there for Freeman, who'd been running up front most of this race. Chancey also had a good truck. Let's see if we can take a look at that from behind that group. Who was in 5th at the time? So let's take a look here from the roof cam of the 113. And I think what you're going to see here, it's the 28 that gets together there first. Of Hinton gets up into the 42. Let's just see if we can look at this in slow-mo. We're heading down the back straightaway here. So Ortiz way down at the bottom. Williams sees a gap. He looks to shoot that gap between Hinton and Chancey. So now we're 4 wide at this point. And Chancey's way up there. Ortiz way on the bottom of the white line. Or Chancey there, or down there with him. And the 28 just kind of slips up the racetrack a little bit. Gets into the 42. There was just not enough room there for four wide racing. And around they go. So unfortunate there for the 42 of Freeman. Let's see if they were able to use their fast repairs here. We've got Freeman is going to make his way back out on the racetrack. So 2 fast trucks now going to find their way back. That actually helped out. One driver took a big advantage of that was Cole Williams. He's going to move back up into the top 5. He's also been fast all day. Hinton falls back to 4th. The 316 of Curtis Mitchell finds himself up into the top 3 for the first time today. So it's Ortiz, George, Mitchell, Hinton. That is your top 4. So we're going to go around one more time. All right, so I don't think we've completed a lap yet since the end of stage number 5. So let's see if we can get a lap in here. We have officially 11 to go. Ortiz, George, Mitchell, Hinton. Our biggest mover of the race is Carlos Andre. And I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, but sorry, Carlos. In the 23 there, the Robin Hood sponsorship, up 24 spots. Started back in 30th, all the way up to 6th. As you can see, the Robin Hood sponsor number 23 Toyota Tundra of Carlos Andre. But up front right now, it is the 35 of Ortiz. Ortiz has been up front most of this race. So a couple of his fastest contenders there in Williams and Chancey are going to have to find their way, or excuse me, of Freeman and Chancey are going to have to find their way back up through the back of the pack. I think Chancey is still on the racetrack, so they both have some fast repairs to use. But Freeman back in 15th, Chancey back in 20th. A long, long way to go here with not much time to do it. Pace truck's going to pull down pit road one more time. And it's going to be Ortiz and George right here coming to the line. Ortiz not with a great start. George in the 70 is going to get a good run on the outside. He's getting a pretty good shove there from Hinton in the 28. We're 3 wide there for second right now. Look on the outside. Here comes Ethan George. Not quite a great run there through 1 and 2. That's going to let Ortiz get away. Mitchell now up to second. He's down to the inside. Don't keep your eye on that 46 of Cole Williams, though. Cole's been fast all day long. Now get himself back up into the top 4. Let's see if we can stay clean and green here from all the way out. So it's Ortiz, Mitchell, and George now side by side. Williams back there in the 4th spot. I'm keeping my eye on Freeman to see where he's at. He's actually back up to 11th so far. Watch that 42 way up on the outside of the racetrack of John Freeman. He is trying to get back to the front. He's got fresh tires on that truck. He's now going to take a look to the inside of the Milliken. Watch, keep your eye on the 42, but up front it is Ortiz, Mitchell, Williams. George makes a little contact with the outside wall. 8 laps left to go as you come across the line. Watch the 42 of Freeman trying to get up through the packer. He's going to look to the outside of McConnell there in the 73. We're 4 wide right there behind him. That did not work out very well last time we were 4 wide. McConnell backs out of it. He saw what happened the last time. He is not going to be the one in the middle. And it's Ortiz about 0.2 of a second out to the good to Mitchell. Williams is just not showing the pace I thought he might here on this restart. So we got somebody down there in the grass. It looks like it might have been Jake Boggs in the 77. He is going to keep going. Ortiz, Mitchell, Williams, George Hinton. That is your top 5. It's not a boys band. That is your top 5 here in the race. Carlos Andrade here in the 23 up to 6. John Freeman started this restart in 15th all the way up to 8th right now. That 42 is coming in a hurry. He's going to look to the inside of Campbell now. So here comes Freeman. I don't know if he's got enough time to get to the front, but he's trying to get himself at least into the top 5. Ortiz, Mitchell right now. Mitchell still about 0.2 of a second back, but he closes off at 2. Ortiz looks like he's trying to do the Indy snake right there, trying to break the draft on Mitchell. Mitchell, it's gonna be Williams to the inside of Mitchell, the 46. He is finding some pace. He is going to get by Mitchell for that second spot. Going to clear him heading into turn number 1. Here comes Cole Williams looking to the outside of Ortiz. Ortiz moves up the racetrack. Williams back down to the bottom. Mitchell and George close right there, hitting there as well. John Freeman still charging to the front. He is now cleared Carlos Andrade. He's looking to the inside of George, and right behind him is the 18 of Chansey. These two guys just crashed about 6 laps ago, and they are coming to the front. Chansey and Freeman now running 4th and 6th. This is not over with yet. 4 laps left to go, 3.5 to go as you come down the back straightaway. Ortiz, Williams, Mitchell, Freeman, that's your top 4. Bryce Hinton, and now Rusty Chansey has got himself back up near the top 5. He's trying to get around Hinton. 3 to go as we come across the line. Does anybody have anything for Carlos Ortiz? Looking at the 18 of Rusty Chansey. Rusty now up to 6th. But watch the 42. He started on the pole of this race. Was involved in a crash just a little bit ago. You had to use a fast repair. Charge him to the front. He's got a chance here. He's looking to the outside of Mitchell. Freeman now back up to 3rd. He is within sight of our leaders. Freeman with a good run into 1 and 2 up on the outside. 2 to go, 1.5 to go as we come off at turn number 2. Carlos Ortiz, Cole Williams, and John Freeman. That's your top 3. Williams takes a look to the outside. Ortiz has to stuck back behind him. Freeman, the only one running that really high groove. Chansey following up there just a little bit. Come across the line, white flag in the air. 1 more lap to go here for Carlos Ortiz. Does anybody have anything for Ortiz? If anybody, it's going to be Williams. I think Hinton and Freeman are too far back at this point. Let's see if Williams can find anything down the back straightaways. They head into turn number 3 for the last time. Ortiz going to move up to block the run. Williams gets a good run to the bottom here in 3 and 4, but I just don't think he's going to have enough pace. I think it's going to be Carlos Ortiz as we come off of turn number 4 through the triover section. And it's going to be Carlos Ortiz with the win. Williams, Freeman, Hinton. That's going to be your top 4. Rusty Chance. Freeman's going to finish off in a blaze of glory. He's going to finish off the 42. 120 laps here tonight. And your winner is going to be the 35 of Carlos Ortiz. Tasmanian Devil there on the side of the truck. Good Wrench sponsored. Cole Williams there in the 46 is going to come home in 2nd. All right, we'll see if anybody is in the waiting room here for interviews. But right now, we're going to take a quick look at the results. Turn off some of this other stuff here. So Carlos Ortiz started in 5th, going to come home with the win. Cole Williams, John Freeman. That is your top 3. Bryce Hinton, Rusty Chansey, Carlos Andrade, Curtis Mitchell, Ethan George, Ross Campoli, Scott Milliken. That rounds out your top 10. Then it was Rob Wilson, John Miles, Jake Box, Donnie Beach, Ricky Miles getting it back there in the 15th spot. Peyton Kleba, 16th. James Jepson in the 17th spot. Ricky Heinard, 18th. Daniel McConnell, 19th. And Toby Estes, 20th. Toby had a good run early. He's going to fall back to the 20th spot. And in 21st, Ben Rowden, Damon Pacheco in 22nd. Mark Jackson, Brandon Schumann, Kim Kraus. We saw Kim up towards the front as well, but unfortunately going to fall back. Scott Benedict's in 26, John Foskey 27, Jamie Shaw, Ronald Hall, and Larry Eddy, and I believe that was the only 30 trucks that even started the race. So that is going to round out our field here. All right, so let's see if we get anybody in the waiting room. I don't know if I can drag. I can, it looks like. So it looks like don't see anybody in the top 3 in there yet. I don't see Carlos Cole or John Freeman. What we're going to do here is it does look like we've got Bryce Hinton there in the waiting room. So we'll bring Bryce up, get a word from him. If I can. Doesn't look like I can drag anybody in here. I'll tell you what we're going to jump down there with him. Hey, Bryce, are you there? Hey, Bryce, you got me, buddy?
Hey, you sure do.
All right. I tried to drag you up to the green room, but I couldn't quite get. It didn't let me. So we're gonna jump down here with you instead. So how you doing, buddy?
Oh man, that was a race.
That was an adventure, wasn't it? Give me a little story from what you saw out there.
You know, it was a very technical race. You know, iRacing's done something with the truck, and I like it and I don't like it in both because it makes it really hard to drive in dirty air when you're right up on somebody's bumper. Back in the day, it used to not really be like that. You could make any move you wanted to, but now you got to be smart with your pit strategy, and you really got to be in front of as many people as possible, preferably in the lead. So on that last lap 100 stage, I decided to take right sides only to get in first and try to hold everybody off with dirty air. I know how to do that now, and unfortunately, it didn't work out with. I'll call it an unfortunate move by the eventual winner of the race, but we let it slide because he was doing a great job the rest of the time, and maybe got overzealous and gave him a pass a little bit. But he went on to win the race. Congrats to him, and I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we actually just showed a replay of that as you were saying that. So that was a 4-wide move right there on the bottom. Carlos kind of snuck down to the bottom. At the same time, John kind of saw that hole between you and Rusty, made it 4 wide in that situation, and it looked like maybe you and Carlos just had a little bit of contact, which shot you up into the 42 of Freeman. And the early stage of this race was clean all the way through, but just a great run there, man. I don't. It's the first race we've covered one of these dare races. Is this something you run most of the time?
Yeah, I switch between this and one other series, but these are my core, races that I run, and it's always a good time, man. They know how to do a good format. They run the races fairly. It's a respectable group of people that put this on, and it's always good racing.
Yeah, it's a good show. It's the first time I've covered one of these races where it's just kind of stage after stage after stage. When we started, I wasn't quite sure of the fuel mileage thing, but so I was kind of caught off surprise when everybody started pitting. But hey, man, a great run right there. Happy to be here with you guys tonight. Before we let you get out of here, is there anybody else you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, on the stage thing, yeah, it can get kind of tricky to call because it's like, oh well, what's this random caution? But once it's like, okay, they're racing for stages, and the fuel mileage is part of it. It's not just balls to the wall sort of thing. Then you start to it gets really fun for the drivers especially. But shout out to Ricky, shout out to Dave, all the admins, everybody that puts this stuff on. You for an amazing broadcast, all the drivers for coming out. It was a really competitive race and a good time.
All right, man. Well, I'm sure we'll see you down the road somewhere. Good luck, whatever else you have going on for the weekend.
Thanks. Have a great one.
All right. All right, so we're gonna jump back up here. So I don't see anybody else in the waiting room. I don't see any of our top 3 drivers joined us here for an interview. So we're gonna probably go ahead and close it out here. So quite an interesting night of events. That was a great race to the finish. John Freeman put on a show. tried his best to get involved in that caution there on lap 107. Did everything he could to get back to the front. Let's take another look at that here real quick at the finish. Watch this in live time here, 4 wide right here. And this was pretty much the deciding of the race right here. Knocked Freeman and Chansey out of a chance to win it. That was going to let Carlos Ortiz drive off here with the lead. And when we went back to green flag, he stayed out there the whole time. And it looks like maybe I might have somebody else join the booth here with me. Hey, Ricky, are you there, buddy?
Yes, sir, buddy.
Well, and that was quite the adventure out there, my friend.
Yeah, it was really, I think maybe one a little episode there that I think a little guy get a little antsy, kind of took a few guys, messed them up. But other than that, you know, it was a very quick, good race. I know that our field strategy is, you know, try to get, you know, had to get tires, and I think we was playing around with the setup and trying to get it to where we would have to mandatory make pit stops, but some of them kind of managed their tires and the fuel and was able to get around making the pit stops when they had to. But other than that, you know, was really happy with everybody coming out and racing, and it was very, you know, pretty clean for the most part. And we appreciate you coming in and helping us. And it was, you know, I appreciate the guys, all the admin help that comes in and helps us, and along with Dave and myself. But we really appreciate everybody.
I appreciate you having us here tonight. It was a fun race for sure. And with that, we're going to go ahead and check out our show. Thanks again, Ricky. And we're going to go ahead and get out of here for the night. So that was a fantastic show here on the Dirty Air Racing Experience. My name is Chris Murphy with DRSN. And we're going to be back Tuesday night. The next thing we're going to have, the next race we will have here on the channel, Dirty Old Bastards 360 Sprint Series from Port Royal. If you like dirt racing and you like sprint car racing, some of the best sprint car races in all of iRacing will be here with us Tuesday night for that. That's at 9 o'clock Eastern. Let me come back at 11 o'clock Eastern on Tuesday night with the Western Racing League. Wednesday night, you will find us with a Mazda MX-5 series from the Fresno SCCA Club. That's a fun little series. This is going to be our second race with them. And then Thursday night, we're back with the Nitro Zone Racing League Truck Series. And then Friday night, we'll be back for the Half Decent Racing League Xfinity Series. So I want to thank Ricky and everybody over at DARE, at Dirty Air Racing Experience, for having us here tonight. And from all of us here at DRSN, thanks for choosing to spend your evening with us. I know it's a Saturday night. You could have been somewhere else, but you chose to be here with us, and I thank you. My name is Chris Murphy, saying keep it smooth, keep it smart, and if you can't do that, at least keep it entertaining for the folks at home. We'll see you next time. Good night.